Milka family. Welcome to another day in my 21-day spiritual fast. If this is your first time watching one of these videos, make sure you go ahead and watch day one, where I share with you what the parameters of my fast are, what my beginning weight is, and what my goals are. But this is day 9 for me. In the no eating portion of the fast, this is my second day going with no meals. So I'm here to report to you on day 8, which was my first day with no meals. So this morning, well, yesterday morning when I stepped on the scale, I weighed 145.2 pounds. And this morning, I have my phone because I took a picture. This morning when I stepped on the scale on day 8, I weighed 142.4 pounds. I want to talk about that jump. I believe that jump is because even though I was eating 1 meal a day and I was dropping weight, all that salt, all that salt, which may cause water retention, or however my body responded to the food, inflammation, which may cause even more water retention. Yesterday, I didn't have any food, I didn't have any salt, and so you saw a big drop in that water. And so that's what I think that discrepancy is from. We'll see if I continue to lose more than 1 pound in a day. All right, so let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday was a very challenging day because, as I shared, the previous day we had hospitalized our bearded dragon. Didn't know what was wrong with him. The girls were very emotional about it, and we were just waiting to hear. And right after I recorded the video yesterday, maybe not right after, because I was able to get through the lunch period, and I'll talk about that later. But we got a call from the doctor letting us know that the bearded dragon died. And so I had to pretty much stop everything because, you know, it's not like having one of those small lizards that stays in its cage and you're not that engaged with it. It is a very big lizard and it's very interactive. I kid you not, when my daughter would walk in the room, it would want to be taken out of the cage. And my daughter basically walked around with it on her a lot. And so it was like a real pet, like almost like having a cat or a dog, with the level of attachment my kids had to it. So it was a big deal. And so, you know, we had to pick up the bearded dragon. My husband even came home a little bit early and worked the rest of the day from home so that we could have a little bit of a goodbye ceremony and bury the bearded dragon in the backyard. And so, you know, it was pretty emotional for the kids yesterday, and I had to kind of manage that. So that kind of took my mind off of the fast a little bit. And I do mean a little bit because, you know, right away in the morning when my kids were making their breakfast, and I made the mistake of having bought them sausage biscuits, those frozen sausage biscuits that you could, you know, make yourself in the microwave or toaster oven or whatever. And the smell of that, I mean, my mouth just started watering. So that's one thing I noticed all day yesterday, that in response to the smell of food, my mouth was just full of water. Like I was salivating after the food and not able to eat the food. And so the dread of not eating is really what I had to deal with a lot yesterday. Like when I do intermittent fasting and things like that, it's not as hard to get through it because I know that at such and such time that day, I'm going to be eating. But when you're fasting like this, you really have to lay down your desire to eat. And so, you know, I tried not to keep thinking in my mind, okay, it's going to be 14 days. It's going to be 14 days until your next meal. I tried not to do that, but that thought did keep coming to my mind. And so I did get a chance to listen to Miles Monroe. And one of the things he talks about is replacing food with spiritual activity at those times. Because like I told you, hunger is a cue. So your body is going to cue you, oh, it's noon. We usually have lunch now. It's time to eat. Are you going to eat? Are you going to eat? Are you going to eat? And then for however long, for me, it's less than an hour, is going to keep making your stomach feel like you want to eat. You really have an appetite to eat. And then once your body sees that you didn't eat, that all eases up and it moves on. You move on from feeling like you're starving and you gotta eat until the next time in the day that you usually give your body food, and then it'll send that cue again. So what Miles Monroe is saying, if you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, during breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you should be praying, you should be reading scripture, listening to a message, worshiping, something to build up your spirit man that I talked about yesterday in yesterday's video. So I tried that, and it really does work well. I found myself wanting to take a nap halfway through the day. I don't know if it's because I didn't get enough sleep the night before, because I slept fine. I think more so all the emotional stuff with the bearded dragon and everything like that, like around 3 o'clock, I really wanted to take a nap. I wasn't able to do that because I had so much to do. So I just kept plugging through my day. And so I noticed that by the end of the day, like around 7:30, I was just done. I was ready to go to sleep and pass out. And so on top of the hungry, mouth-watering experience and, you know, the thinking about food a lot that happened, I also experienced feeling really cold yesterday. In general, I tend to feel cold, but I practice intermittent fasting, and with fasting in general, you tend to feel colder. Before I even ever did intermittent fasting, I always felt on the colder side. But yesterday I felt especially cold. And if I have a picture, I'll share that I was heavily overdressed on a day that really wasn't that cold, but I was freezing yesterday. And so I'm anticipating that this is going to continue being a problem because it's been a problem in the past. And so I just have to dress in layers and be careful that the layer that touches my skin is a close fitting and thin layer. I tend to feel the warmest wearing that. And if I could even wear one of those bodysuits, that's even better. And so that's what I will be doing for that. Water, drinking tons and tons of water helps. Sometimes the hunger cue that your body is sending is really the fact that you're thirsty. And yesterday I was very thirsty and I drank a lot of water. I think I probably drank a gallon of water yesterday. That's probably not even an exaggeration. I had no green tea. But I did have the apple cider vinegar in water. And I noticed that Miles Monroe, in his fast, he encourages people when he does his, he does a 21-day water fast with his, well, he used to, he's passed on, he's passed away, but he used to do a 21-day fast with his congregation. And he advises that they can drink water, they can drink apple juice, grape juice, not grape juice, apple juice, cranberry juice, and also herbal teas. And so that's what he and then he says they could sweeten, they could even sweeten theirs with a little bit of raw honey, but no honey for me. I think that's for me that I think that would be a little bit too many calories, but I'm thinking the apple cider vinegar that I felt in my spirit I was allowed to have on this fast, that kind of pretty much lines up with the apple juice. So I'm good. I'm good with the apple cider vinegar. He talked about avoiding beverages with caffeine in it. You guys know what my situation is with the green tea. I didn't have to take it yesterday, and so I will proceed to see as needed if I really need to take it, and if I don't, I won't. So anyway, that really is the gist of what happened to me today. I like to capitalize on my renewed interest in food because honestly, when I'm eating, I can't be bothered to look through the internet for new recipes for my family, even though I get really bored of us eating the same things over and over. When I'm eating, I can't be bothered. When I'm fasting, I'm highly interested. I'm highly interested in looking at recipes, looking at food, looking at videos of food. I'm highly interested. And so every year when I do this fast, this is when I get on Pinterest, I Google, different things that I might want to try. And I've added staples to what I cook for my family during this time every year. So yesterday I started to do a little bit of that, and that was helpful. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's masochistic, but I know other people that like to look at food while they're fasting. I don't know, maybe through my eyes I'm getting some kind of satisfaction. I don't know. That does make my mouth water, but it seems to be something that works for me, so I'm going to continue doing it. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. Still coasting. I really didn't have any horrible hunger pains or any true struggles. Miles Monroe talks about how hard the first week is when you drop your meals, and so far it hasn't been as hard for me, and I think it's largely because I practice intermittent fasting. So I don't think my body is as toxic as it would be if I didn't go more than 16 hours without eating every day. I think the process that is cleaning out my body physically, I think I'm enjoying that on a regular basis because I practice intermittent fasting. And so I transitioned into this no meal fast, I think a little bit more easily than someone who maybe eats 2 to 3 meals a day and snacks, and things like that. So keep that in mind if you're comparing what your experience will be like as compared to what mine is. So that's all I have for you. I'll be back tomorrow to report on what day 9 is like. But this has been day 8. So let me know what your comments are in the comments down below. Be blessed.